One of the jobs of a magazine editor is to evaluate test vehicles. Putting cars through their paces and measuring specific performance variables is hard work. And today, Hot Rod editor Ro McGonigal is getting behind the wheel of our latest rod test victim, this killer LS1-powered 34 Ford Coupe. You call this work, Ro?
Yeah, Moran, you wish you had this job. But you know, it is kind of fun to drive other people's cars that got a lot of money in them, and you can drive them like you don't have a dime in them. Our first example is Steve Speljard's 34.
What I was trying to accomplish with this was I was trying to build a millennium version of the California Kid, something built in the mid-70s, and we think we've done that. Since I do powertrain control design, that's really what I do for a living and what people come to me in the street rod industry for. We knew that whatever we put in this for a powertrain had to be something very unique. So we decided to run an LS1 in this and put a spin on it, so to speak. We put a 4L80E in it, which is a different trans which Chevrolet hasn't even done yet. It is a 4-speed, it does have lockup, it has overdrive of course, and it is computer controlled, so we can marry it with the motor with powertrain control, and that's really what powertrain control is about and how it shines. Probably one of the hardest things to do was to keep this car look like a classic 34, yet to have all the high tech underneath it. And we were religious about not using anything that would make the car look like it's out of its era. This is a Minotti bodied car, and we use the American Torker wheel on it, and we are using a set of SoCal mirrors on it. Everyone kind of raves about the flames now, and they've been a very, very big point of interest on the car. But at the time, I really thought I made a mistake by picking the colors. It turned out it was one of those good mistakes. The interior of the car is probably one of the most fun areas of the car for me. It's got black tweed and Conley leather in it, but the stereo system is probably one of the most overlooked deals in this particular car. It is probably more fun than you should have. The stereo head is about 3/4 of an inch thick, and it was all hand-formed and brought up into the headliner, and all the controls are brought in the left quarter of the car. It really makes a summer night driving this car a whole lot of fun. If you look at the rear view mirror, it has all the Produndo, all the shift indicator on it, turn signals and high beam indicators are all in the rear view mirror. 10 seconds after the doors are closed and the key is turned on, this automatically puts out a set of suicide pins. And these are just an added safety feature so the doors never open while the car's moving. And that's all done through an Alpine alarm system, and all the timers and logic are in that. It also has features, a remote control which open and close the doors, roll the windows up, open and close the trunk. This has got a 4-link, 9-inch Ford in the back, and it runs all tubular Mustang 2 type stuff up front. It is a non-power steering car, which we like because of all the weight in the car is so evenly distributed. This car actually is within 8 pounds on each corner, so it is as close to a 50-50 car as you ever want to get. Pete Chaporis is probably one of my idols, since he was the one that designed and built the California Kid, which kind of started all of this. And he really, really likes this car, so that's probably a very big compliment to me.
Oh, I've driven over 1,000 new cars, and I didn't know what to expect. I've never really driven a street rod before. A lot of little neat stuff on it. The car is extremely clean and detailed, and everything is right on it. It's a 4-link car, but it rides extremely well. I guess it's got the spring rates pretty well sorted out. It's like driving a new car, but it's not. There's a feeling of freedom you get from this that you don't get from a new car at all. The other car we beat on today was Jack Goodrich's 65 Plymouth Superstock, one of 3 stick cars known to exist, and the only one driven on the street.
Well, this car was built for drag racing. It's a 1965 Plymouth Belvedere 1 factory lightweight superstock car with a 426 race Hemi. These 65s have acid dip fenders, hood, doors, aluminum heads, magnesium cross ram. This car was originally owned by Larry Griffith out of Illinois. It was raced as the Ferris Motors Hearst Tornado 4. This particular car ran a 1094 at 131 miles an hour. And I'm the 9th owner of the car. There were approximately 101 cars made, 9 of them 4-speeds. This car is equipped with a 4-speed and AA833 aluminum case transmission. There's about 30 cars left, approximately 3 4-speeds. 2 of the 4-speeds are not street driven. This car is street driven. This is the original color of the car, this light tan with the gold champagne interior. It's very hard to find parts for the car, and then when you do, they're very expensive. And usually they have to be reworked because the parts are 35, 36 years old. And some of them were only made for 1 year. The headers on this car are 35-year-old S&S headers that were originally made for these cars that I was able to find after years of looking. The rev limiter is an old stall version that was used in 1965, 66. Found that at a swap meet. The valve covers on the car are made for 1 year by Mickey Thompson for these special heads. The interior on the car is basically stock from the factory. Had Dodge A100 van seats, rear seat delete. The roll bar we added as just some safety for some protection. The shifter is Hurst, just like it was from the factory. We have a Sun tack, vintage Sun tack. The rear suspension's factory super stock spring, 7 leaks on the driver's side, 9 leaks on the passenger side, with a pinion snubber, 456:1 ratio. The front tires on the car are BF Goodrich Silvertown 710-15 bias ply tire. The rear tires are Mickey Thompson 10x15s. Hard rubber slicks like they used in the 60s. Wheels are American Magnesium, 60s vintage. Driving this car is definitely an experience and very exhilarating because it has a 4-speed, so you're able to finesse it a little bit, which makes it very enjoyable to drive on the street. We've recently taken the car to the Hot Rod Reunion and were able to make a few passes in the car, which was very exciting for me and I hope for everyone else.
Car is an animal, absolute animal. You have to get in it to experience it. You got a clutch continuum to go, you got the gas pedal to modulate, you got the shifter, which is about a mile long for me. The only way to drive this car, I think, smooth for me would be to bang it, to bang the gears. I was afraid to drive my first 930 Porsche. Same thing with this. Now that I'm in it, I'm glad I did it. Hey, Moran, while you stand there talking to yourself, I got work to do.